Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to each of you for taking your time to be here today. We certainly appreciate that. And Riley, I want to come to you. Riley is a Tennessean, and we are so incredibly proud of her work and the job that she is doing. And one thing that I have noticed repeatedly over the last few years is this administration's intent that they continue to push forward, erasing the word woman, their intent when it comes to ending Title IX and ending the ability for young girls. You know, in Tennessee, I talk a lot about the Lady Vols, a great basketball team with such a great history, and that how important it has been to young girls. When I talk to girls that have played on that team, they talk about the impact that being able to be a Lady Vol and what that had on their life, what that impact was to them personally and professionally. And they talk about the opportunities that were open to them because they were a Lady Vol, they were a competitor. And I say all the time, there are hundreds of young girls that are out there at their home beating that basketball against the backboard and the blacktop and trying to hone their craft so they can be a competitor, they can be an athlete. And I was so disappointed that this administration, the Department of Education, went so far as to propose a rule allowing biological males to compete in women's sports. And Riley, you've referenced the impact of on young girls that this has and how it is kind of defeating, not only to when you are competing, but when you're preparing. And you reference the amount of work that you do, that 5 a.m. swimming, that 5 o'clock dinner, and the way you're double tracking to be a competitor and also get an education. So I want you to talk a little bit about the impact that keeping Title IX and what Title IX meant to you is you were that young girl training, hoping to get a college scholarship, hoping that you would be an NCAA college athlete. Talk about that.
Absolutely. It's far bigger than athletic achievement, and I think that's something that gets lost, especially when we only have a few minutes to share our testimony. I shared how I didn't get the trophy, but let me reiterate, it's not about the trophy. I didn't care about holding the tangible object of the probably $5 production trophy. It's about the opportunity. It's about the lifelong skills and characteristics you develop from playing sports. Playing sports, aside from my faith, I put a lot of this in my faith, but playing sports has given me the leadership to do this, the security to take the arrows, to be held hostage. It's playing sports that has given me that confidence, and no girl should lose out on that. It is far bigger than athletic success or chances for opportunity. It is about those transferable skills. There was an Ernst & Young study that came out that said 94% of female C-level executives, so CEO, COO, CFO, 94% of those females were female athletes, and I think that is a entirely true testament of what it means to be an athlete and those skills that it provides you. And I want to mention really briefly, the rewrite of Title IX is an abomination. It is equating sex to gender identity, which means men would live in dorm rooms with women, men would have full access to bathrooms, changing areas, locker rooms. Men could join sororities, which we're seeing happening. It's happening at University of Wyoming. Men could take academic and athletic scholarships away from women. In this new rewrite, it's actually sexual harassment. If you misgender a trans-identified individual, it's sexual harassment. That if you're in a dorm room and you're a woman and you feel uncomfortable sharing this dorm room, if you complain and ask to be moved, you're guilty of sexual harassment.
And you mentioned the transferable skills. I think that is so vital. Give me like the top 3 skills that you developed by learning to be a competitive athlete?
I think especially being two-year team captain at University of Kentucky, I would say the top 3 skills I learned were teamwork, communication, and leadership, without a doubt. And those are skills that translate to your career. I graduated with every intent on being in dental school. Actually, what I wanted to do was endodontics. I scored in the top percentile of the DAT, which is the dental admissions test. And that's what I thought my life direction was going. And those 3 skills I mentioned, teamwork, leadership, and communication, would have been crucial to becoming a dentist. And now I realize in my advocacy work, they're just as crucial in this field as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.